Stoicism and buyer's remorse. Quit whining. Act like a man. So you thought you were getting a premium gadget, something sleek, futuristic, worthy of a king. And what did you actually get? A piece of plastic garbage that looks like it came from a shady back alley factory. Buttons don't work, colors off, and the whole thing feels like it'll fall apart if you breathe on it too hard. Bravo, genius. You got bamboozled. Now, an average Joe would throw a tantrum. Oh no, my hard-earned money? This is unacceptable. I want my refund. I'll write an angry review. Yeah, we get it. You got played. But let me ask you this. Will all that whining change anything? Will your crying magically turn this plastic joke into a premium product? No. Then why waste your energy? Here's what a Stoic would do. First, take a deep breath and accept reality. You expected greatness, but you got garbage. That's on you. Expectations are the root of disappointment. And you let yourself get hyped. Tough luck. But guess what? You're still breathing. The world's still turning. And this piece of junk isn't the end of civilization. So let's stop acting like a victim and start acting like a man. What's in your control? Now that you've swallowed that bitter pill, let's talk solutions. A Stoic doesn't dwell on things beyond his control. The product is trash. That's a fact. Can you change that? Number. What can you change? Your response. Option 1. Return the damn thing. If there's a refund policy, use it. Contact customer service, send the item back, and get your money. Simple. No drama, no emotions, just action. Option 2. If returning isn't an option, adapt. Maybe you can repurpose this useless gadget. Maybe you can sell it to some other poor soul. Maybe you can use it as a very expensive paperweight. Whatever the case, make use of it instead of crying about it. Option 3. Learn your lesson. You got fooled because you trusted the hype. Next time, don't. Research better, check reviews, think before you buy. Every mistake is a chance to get smarter. Unless, of course, you enjoy being scammed over and over again. The problem with most people today is they don't learn from their mistakes. They whine, they blame, and then they make the exact same dumb decision again. You got scammed on a cheap product? Fine, but if next week you fall for another too good to be true deal, that's on you. The world is full of people looking to take advantage of suckers. The question is, do you want to be one of them? Stop worshiping stuff. Now let's get philosophical. Why are you so upset over some plastic junk? Because you attach too much value to stuff. You thought this thing would make your life better. Newsflash, it won't. No product, no gadget, no piece of tech will ever bring you lasting happiness. A real Stoic doesn't obsess over possessions. He values character, wisdom, and discipline. Things no online store can sell you. The sooner you stop worshiping stuff, the sooner you stop getting disappointed by it. People today have an unhealthy relationship with material things. They think a new phone, a new watch, a new car will suddenly make them feel complete. But what happens? A few weeks later, the excitement fades. And they're chasing the next purchase. Consumer culture is a trap, and the sooner you escape it, the better. The power of indifference. Let's take a little history lesson. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, had actual problems. Wars, betrayals, plagues, you name it. You think he threw a fit when his toga got a stain. You think he wrote an angry letter because his sandals weren't as comfy as he expected? No, he dealt with it and moved on. You ordered a thing, it turned out to be trash. Guess what? That's life. Life is full of disappointments, some small, some big. If you break down over a botched order, how will you handle something serious? How will you act when life throws real punches? The answer is simple. You need to toughen up. Stop caring so much about every little inconvenience. The power of a Stoic is in indifference, not to be confused with apathy. Indifference means you choose where to focus your energy. You decide what's worth your attention. And believe me, some cheap piece of junk isn't worth a single second of your life. People spend too much energy on nonsense, complaining about slow shipping, crying over a bad meal at a restaurant. Throwing tantrums over minor inconveniences. Imagine if they put that energy into something productive. Working out, learning new skills, building something meaningful. Instead, they waste it on garbage. The modern consumer is weak. Let's face it, people today are soft. We've been trained to believe that every little inconvenience is a tragedy. Package arrives late, outrage. Food delivery guy forgot the sauce, lawsuit incoming. Someone online disagreed with your opinion? Call the internet police. This is weakness, pure pathetic weakness. A Stoic, a real man, doesn't break down over nonsense. He adapts, overcomes, and moves on. He doesn't waste his breath on things that don't matter. He controls what he can and lets go of what he can't. And that, my friend, is power. You want to be strong? Start by filtering out what matters and what doesn't. Start by cutting out the emotional reactions to trivial nonsense. That's what makes a man stand above the rest. Final words. Be a man, not a crybaby. Look, you got tricked. It happens. The weak will cry, throw a fit, and let this tiny inconvenience ruin their day. The strong will shrug, adapt, and move on. Life is full of disappointments, and this cheap piece of plastic is just one of them. If you let something this small shake you, what will happen when real problems hit? What will you do when life throws something actually serious your way? So, take this as a test. A challenge. Prove that you're not some whiny little consumer, but a man who knows how to handle life's curveballs. Accept what you can't change, act on what you can, and move forward like a damn warrior. Or, you could keep crying over your bad purchase. Your choice. The world belongs to those who control themselves. The weak cry, the strong adapt. The question is, which one are you?
In a world that increasingly emphasizes instant gratification and the pursuit of pleasure, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a compelling counter-narrative. A Stoic view on masculinity doesn't conform to societal expectations based on dominance, sexual prowess, or physical strength, but rather revolves around self-control, virtue, and the mastery of one's own desires. One of the most pressing aspects of this philosophy is its approach to sexuality. In modern times, the urge for sexual gratification can easily become a driving force in one's life, but the Stoic philosopher argues that surrendering control to such impulses strips away true masculinity. To be controlled by desire, rather than exercising mastery over it, is to lose sight of the very essence of manhood. 1. The Stoic foundations. Control over desires. At the core of Stoicism is the idea that we should differentiate between what is in our control and what is not. This simple but profound distinction is the cornerstone of the Stoic worldview. Our desires, including sexual ones, fall under the category of things we can control. The Stoics believe that true freedom comes when we are no longer slaves to our own passions. In their eyes, desires are not inherently bad, but they must be disciplined and examined for their role in our lives. The Stoics held that if we cannot control our desires, we will never be free, as they will constantly dictate our actions, steering us away from rational decisions and true fulfillment. Epictetus, one of the foremost Stoic philosophers, emphasized that freedom is the only true possession. He explained that while external circumstances are often beyond our control, we always have the power to regulate our inner world, our thoughts, actions, and desires. This ability to control one's internal state is what separates human beings from animals, and it is the hallmark of true strength. A man who is ruled by his sexual desires is, in essence, not living freely, but rather living under the thumb of his impulses. 2. Sexuality and masculinity. In today's society, masculinity is often defined by physical power, sexual dominance, and the ability to control others. The media, entertainment, and even social structures often present masculinity as being synonymous with the conquest of women or the demonstration of sexual prowess. However, the Stoics propose a radically different kind of masculinity, one defined not by dominance or the number of sexual conquests, but by inner strength, moral fortitude, and self-mastery. For a Stoic, true masculinity doesn't lie in the ability to satisfy every whim or indulge in lustful desires. Instead, it is found in the ability to transcend one's impulses and live in accordance with reason. A man who is ruled by his sexual desires is, in essence, not living as a true man. He is allowing a base instinct to guide his actions, rather than virtue, reason, or purpose. The Stoics believed that the true measure of masculinity is the ability to remain calm, focused, and disciplined in the face of life's challenges, including the most primal urges. True manhood lies not in indulging every temptation, but in being able to rise above them. In this sense, the Stoic man is not bound by societal expectations that link masculinity to sexual exploits. Rather, his masculinity is based on his capacity to master his desires, to act with wisdom, and to pursue excellence in all aspects of life. This form of masculinity is not about impressing others with physical prowess or sexual conquest, but about building a life grounded in virtue, integrity, and strength of character. The power of sexual self-control. Sexual self-control is not about repression or denial, but about understanding the transient nature of pleasure and the greater goal of virtuous living. The Stoic view does not call for complete celibacy or the rejection of sexual relationships altogether, but rather advocates for a balanced and rational approach to sexuality. The Stoics argued that while sex can be a natural and fulfilling part of life, it should never become an obsession or a source of disruption in one's quest for virtue. Seneca, another influential Stoic philosopher, often emphasized the importance of moderation in all things. He wrote that excess in any form, including sexual indulgence, leads to the erosion of virtue and self-control. A man who allows himself to be controlled by his sexual urges risks losing his capacity for rational thought and meaningful action. In the Stoic view, the pursuit of pleasure, including sexual pleasure, should never come at the expense of one's moral compass or the pursuit of a virtuous life. The Stoic man must learn to navigate life's pleasures with the wisdom that comes from understanding their fleeting nature and not allowing them to overshadow more important pursuits. The Stoic practice of self-control requires constant awareness and vigilance. A Stoic man is ever mindful of the dangers of excess, including in the realm of sexuality. He does not seek to suppress his desires, but instead seeks to understand them, recognize when they arise, and determine whether acting on them aligns with his values. In this way, Stoic sexual self-control is about ensuring that one's actions are in harmony with reason and virtue, rather than being swayed by impulse or desire. 4. Lust and the loss of reason. Lust is one of the most powerful and pervasive desires humans face. It can cloud judgment and lead individuals to make decisions they otherwise wouldn't. The Stoics believed that desires such as lust, when unchecked, could dominate a person's life and divert them from their higher purpose. When a man succumbs to lust, he surrenders his ability to reason and act according to his true nature. This is where the Stoics draw the line. Lust, if left unchecked, is not just an occasional indulgence, but a force that can take over one's life, distorting judgment and leading to decisions that undermine the pursuit of virtue. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius famously said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This phrase can be applied to the Stoic view on lust. When we allow ourselves to be controlled by base desires, we become slaves to our impulses, in the same way that someone who harms us loses their moral integrity. Lust, in particular, distorts our ability to make sound judgments and leads us to act in ways that diminish our character. It is not simply an issue of sexual ethics, but an existential issue about the nature of manhood and the preservation of reason in a world full of distractions. For the Stoic, to live a virtuous life means to resist the temptation of lust and other passions. It means to act with integrity, to resist the pull of temporary pleasures, and to focus on long-term fulfillment, a fulfillment that comes from living virtuously and in harmony with nature. Lust diminishes a person's character and robs them of their autonomy, while self-control restores their sense of self-mastery and purpose. 5. How to achieve sexual mastery, according to Stoicism. So how can one achieve mastery over their sexual desires? The first step is awareness. The Stoic practice of mindfulness, which encourages individuals to be aware of their thoughts and actions, is crucial in the pursuit of self-control. This practice enables individuals to pause before acting on impulse, recognizing the underlying desire and choosing whether or not to act on it. By training the mind to recognize desires without automatically acting on them, one can begin to regain control over their impulses. Additionally, self-reflection is key. By regularly examining one's life and actions, a person can identify where they may be allowing impulses to govern them. The Stoics encourage individuals to constantly strive for improvement, setting aside moments of introspection to determine how they can better live in alignment with their values. This continual process of self-examination and self-discipline is what enables a Stoic to live a life of meaning rather than being driven by momentary desires. Furthermore, the Stoic practice of negative visualization, imagining the loss of pleasures and comforts, can help diminish the power of desire. By regularly considering how fleeting pleasures are and imagining the consequences of being controlled by them, a person can develop a stronger sense of detachment from them. This practice, in turn, allows one to gain mastery over their desires and live a more focused, intentional life. 6. The role of virtue and masculinity. For the Stoics, virtue is the highest good. This encompasses wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. A true man, in the Stoic sense, is not someone who seeks power, dominance, or sexual conquests, but someone who seeks to live virtuously and with purpose. The Stoics believed that the pursuit of virtue should be the guiding principle of one's life, and that all other desires, including sexual ones, should serve this greater goal. The Stoic perspective on sexuality offers a timeless lesson. A man who is controlled by his desires is not living in accordance with his true nature. True masculinity, from a Stoic point of view, is not about dominance, power, or indulgence, but about self-control, virtue, and reason. The Stoics teach us that by mastering our desires, including sexual ones, we reclaim our freedom and become the men we are meant to be. True masculinity is not about conquering others, but about conquering oneself.
Become invincible in just 1 month. What if you could transform yourself into an unshakable force in just 30 days? No more fear, no more hesitation, no more being controlled by emotions, opinions, or failures. True strength isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and spiritual. And in 1 month, you can rewire your mindset to become someone who is unstoppable. The secret? Discipline, control, relentless self-improvement. Let's break it down. Week 1, master your mind. Your greatest enemy is your own mind. Doubt, fear, insecurity, they are all illusions created by your thoughts. To become invincible, you must first learn to master your thoughts. Daily discipline. Set a strict morning routine. Wake up early. Cold showers. No distractions. Train your mind to be sharp from the moment you open your eyes. Mental toughness. Start journaling. Write down your weaknesses, your fears, and attack them daily. Every day, push yourself out of your comfort zone. Speak up. Face rejection. Do what you fear most. Cut out negativity. Remove toxic influences. Stop listening to weak people. Limit social media. Instead, read books that challenge your thinking, that make you stronger. Affirmations and visualization. Every morning, look in the mirror and tell yourself who you are becoming. Visualize your success. See yourself unshakable, powerful, and in control. Week 2. Strengthen your body. A weak body leads to a weak mind. Strength is built through discipline, through consistency, through pain. You don't need a gym, just a relentless mindset. Daily training, no excuses. Every single day, push your body. Body weight exercises, running, stretching. Discipline is built in sweat and effort. Eat like a warrior. No more junk, no more sugar, no more mindless indulgence. Fuel your body like a machine. Lean proteins, healthy fats, water. What you put in your body determines what you get out of it. Controlled pain, cold showers, fasting, pushing past limits. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, the more invincible you become. Posture and presence. Stand tall, walk with purpose, look people in the eye. Your physical presence should radiate strength before you even say a word. Week 3, emotional control. Most people are slaves to their emotions. They react instead of respond. They break under pressure. You will not. Stoic mindset. Never let emotions control your actions. When anger rises, stay calm. When fear creeps in, stand firm. You dictate how you respond to life, not the other way around. Silence speaks volumes. Don't over-explain. Don't seek validation. Don't react to negativity. Control your words, and you control your reality. Detach from outcomes. Want something? Work for it, but never depend on it. The moment you become attached, you lose power. Be indifferent. Be in control. Slow down. Rush decisions come from weakness. Take your time. Speak slower. Walk slower. Move with confidence and deliberation. Week 4. Become a lone wolf. True strength comes from within. You don't need approval. You don't need constant validation. You are enough. Operate alone. Stop chasing people. Stop needing company to feel complete. When you learn to walk alone, you become dangerous. Move in silence. Let your actions speak. No need to announce your plans. Just execute. Surprise everyone with results. Be unbreakable. No one should be able to manipulate you, shake you, or break you. Your mind, body, and emotions are all under your command. Refuse to settle. If something doesn't meet your standards, whether it's a relationship, a job, or a friendship, walk away. High-value individuals don't settle for mediocrity. Extra, mindset of the unstoppable. If you want to be truly invincible, you must go beyond the basics. You must cultivate an elite mindset. Embrace the challenge. Struggle is your training ground. Every hardship is a chance to sharpen yourself. The harder the battle, the greater the warrior you become. Never beg, build. Never beg for attention, for love, for opportunities. Build yourself into someone who naturally attracts success. Guard your energy. Your time and mental space are sacred. Cut out distractions, useless drama, and people who drain you. Patience and strategy. Success doesn't happen overnight. Plan your moves. Think 3 steps ahead. Delay gratification for long-term rewards. The end result, a new you 1 month. That's all it takes to go from weak to strong, from uncertain to unshakable. The world will not hand you strength, you must build it. But once you do, no one can take it from you. By the end of these 30 days, you will not be the same person. You will walk differently, talk differently, think differently. People will sense your energy. They will respect you, without you even trying. But most importantly, you will respect yourself. Start today. 1 month from now, you won't recognize the person you used to be. You'll be sharper, stronger, and untouchable. You will be invincible.
The secret to the perfect morning. What if I told you that the way you start your morning determines the quality of your entire day? That the first few moments after you wake up shape your mindset, your energy, and your ability to face challenges? The Stoics understood this well. They knew that mastering the morning meant mastering life itself. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Meditations, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." The perfect morning is not about rushing through tasks. It is about setting the right tone, creating a foundation of clarity, resilience, and purpose. Step 1. Own your mind before the world does. The moment you wake up, the battle begins. Will you control your mind, or will it be hijacked by distractions? Most people reach for their phones, drowning in notifications, emails, and social media. But a Stoic knows better. Instead of reacting to the chaos of the world, take control of your first thoughts. Start with gratitude. You are alive. You have another day to grow, to improve, to become wiser. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, I am in control of my mind. The world does not dictate my peace. Step 2. Face discomfort with strength. It is tempting to stay in bed, wrapped in warmth and comfort, but comfort is the enemy of growth. The Stoics practice voluntary discomfort, cold baths, minimalism, fasting, not to suffer but to train themselves for hardship. If you start your morning with a small challenge, you prepare yourself for bigger ones throughout the day. Get up immediately, make your bed, step into a cold shower. These small acts of discipline remind you, I do not seek comfort, I seek strength. Step 3. Reflect before you act. Seneca wrote, "A life without reflection is a life lived at random." Before you let the world pull you in 100 directions, take a few moments for reflection. What kind of person do you want to be today? What challenges might arise? And how will you respond to them with wisdom and composure? A simple practice is journaling. Write down 3 things: what you are grateful for, your main focus for the day, a Stoic principle to guide you, perhaps amor fati, love of fate, or memento mori, remember you must die. This moment of reflection creates direction. It reminds you that your actions are within your control, even if the world is unpredictable. Step 4. Move your body. Sharpen your mind. A strong mind needs a strong body. The Stoics were warriors, philosophers, and leaders. They understood the importance of physical health. Whether it's a brisk walk, stretching, or intense exercise, movement is essential. Epictetus taught that we must train our bodies like we train our minds. If you can endure physical discomfort, you can endure mental hardships. A body in motion energizes the mind, preparing you to face the day with resilience and strength. Step 5. Accept, adapt, advance. No morning is perfect. Some days things will go wrong. Unexpected stress, bad news, or personal struggles. But the Stoic morning is not about achieving perfection. It's about preparing yourself to handle imperfection with grace. Remind yourself, whatever happens today, I will not be shaken. I will adapt. I will advance. You cannot control events, but you can control your response. This is the essence of Stoicism. Conclusion. Your morning, your mastery. The secret to the perfect morning is not found in external rituals. It is found in your mindset. Own your mind before the world does. Face discomfort with strength. Reflect before you act. Move your body. Sharpen your mind. Accept, adapt, and advance. Each morning is a new opportunity to live with purpose, to embody wisdom, to be unshaken by chaos, and to remind yourself, as Marcus Aurelius did, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength,